happy to have you here as part of this workshop on how to get rid of energy vampires. My name is Stef Ventura. I'm the Psychic Soul Empowerment Coach. I help people with deep shadow work and healing. And if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below, and we're going to get started. So the first thing is you got to understand what is an energy vampire exactly, okay? So the definition that my spirit guides gave me on what an energy vampire is that it's someone who knowingly or unknowingly siphons energy from another. So that is just a simple definition of an energy vampire. It's someone who knowingly does this, so they consciously and deliberately take energy from another, or someone who does this unconsciously. They don't know that they're doing it, but they're doing it, right? And I think that it's really important to highlight that a lot of people are energy vampires without intending to be energy vampires because they just don't have the self-awareness to really recognize that they're doing this. Because a lot of times I feel like energy vampires get a really bad rap on, the internet and stuff. A lot of times people think that, oh, it's these really bad, like evil people who are out to get us and take advantage of us and hurt us. But a lot of people, the vast majority of the people are unknowingly doing this. They're not conscious energy vampires. And I think it's really important to extend them that grace and that understanding. It's not to make their behavior acceptable necessarily, but it's just to kind of understand that people don't really get this. Just like most of us on the spiritual development journey, most of us were toxic at one point, because we had unconscious wounds and traumas and things we needed to heal. And it's only been through going on the journey of undoing that now we're no longer toxic, right? But before we didn't realize we were toxic. And I am definitely one of those people. Like, reflecting back on who I was, I can totally see that I was toxic in the past. And I didn't mean to be, but that's life. So a lot of people are unconsciously being energy vampires, and let's just extend them some grace because most of the people are doing this unknowingly, but then there are some people who are doing this on purpose. They are doing it with malicious intent for whatever their reasons may be, but most of the people aren't, okay? So there are 3 reasons for why people attract energy vampires, okay? The 3 main reasons that people attract energy vampires are, 1, because they lack boundaries. So the person who's attracting an energy vampire doesn't have good boundaries. The second reason is that the person who is attracting energy vampires is allowing themselves to be manipulated by said energy vampire. The third reason is that the person who is attracting the energy vampire is afraid of that energy vampire, that person, or just has certain fears that are then making it so that they attract these people who are energy vampires, okay? These are the three main reasons that my spirit guides wanted me to share today. There are probably a number of other reasons, but these are the ones that they wanted me to touch on for the purposes of this workshop, okay? No matter what the reason may be for why you're attracting an energy vampire, what all of these 3 reasons have in common is that if you're attracting energy vampires, then on some level you're giving your power away to these energy vampires. Whether it's through a lack of boundaries, it's through being fearful of them or fearful of others, it's that you're you allow yourself to be manipulated by them, okay? But on some level you're giving your power away to these people who are energy vampires in your life, okay? And what my spirit guides really wanted me to share with you today is that an energy vampire cannot take your energy from you without your permission on some level, okay? Even if it's on an unconscious level, okay? And I think that's really important to understand because one of the things that I preach and teach is that we have to take personal responsibility for our lives and the things that we're experiencing in our lives or that we're manifesting in our lives. And so if you are attracting or manifesting energy vampires into your life on some level, maybe specifically on an unconscious level, you are attracting these people because you're giving your power away to them. They cannot take something from you that you don't give freely, okay? So on some unconscious level, you are giving your power away to these people because maybe you don't have the right boundaries, maybe you're allowing yourself to be manipulated by them, or maybe you're choosing to remain in fear of them. And I know that that might not be the best way to word it because I'm not trying to make victims of abuse or manipulation or anything like that feel bad. But I've gone through trauma and things like that for myself. And on some level, you have to, at least for me and the people that resonate with me, we have to recognize that we're choosing to remain in fear. We're choosing to allow ourselves to be manipulated, and we can choose to break free from that and to put an end to that if we want, right? It's always a choice on some level. It might not be the easiest choice to make, but you have to choose that for yourself. You have to choose to make the shifts day in and day out, right? With consistency and practice. So, yes. So if you fear people, for example, taking advantage of you, if you fear people dominating you on some level, if you feel powerless in any way among other people, then you're unconsciously attracting energy vampires to you for this reason, because you're putting out this fearful energy, this like, oh my God, what if people take advantage of me? What if they dominate me? What if, they do something to me and I can't do anything about it and I'm so helpless and powerless? When you hold these beliefs inside of yourself, this energy inside of yourself, that is what's causing for these energy vampires to show up in your life and to be attracted to you, right? So what my spirit guides wanted me to say is that many light workers attract or are surrounded by energy vampires a lot of times to teach the light worker how to step into their power, how to have the proper boundaries, and how to not be manipulated. So I know that a lot of light workers do tend to attract energy vampires, with total ease, it seems, because there's just so many of them sometimes. But there's a reason behind that. And the reason is that this is part of your journey, part of you learning to come into your power and to learn certain things that you need to in order to be empowered as a light worker, right? So this is why light workers a lot of times will attract energy vampires. And when you finally do the inner work around that, then these energy vampires will be less and less in your life, right? So the only way to permanently release energy vampires is by making an internal shift. Okay, you have to shift internally to not be a match for these people, because you are what you attract, right? You're putting out a frequency that is then manifesting into your reality. And so you have to shift internally in order to no longer put out that frequency that energy vampires pick up on and then make them come to you or show up in your life. So when you are empowered inside of yourself, you will be less prone to attracting these beings and less affected by them, even if they do show up in your life, okay? Because you will know how to handle them and you will know how to take your energy back, okay? So how do you make this internal shift? Well, you do this by, number one, examining your fears. Do you have certain fears around a particular person that you perceive as an energy vampire in your life? If so, what are those fears? What is going on inside of you? What are the stories you're telling yourself? What are your beliefs? Like, really look into that so that you can start deconstructing those beliefs or doing the deeper inner work you might need to do around those fears, okay? The second thing is, like, where do you allow for people to overstep your boundaries on some level, right? Are you saying yes to things that you really want to say no to? Do you do things for other people or these energy vampires that you don't really want to do, right? So where are you allowing people to overstep your boundaries on some level, and how can you begin to put into place boundaries so that these energy vampires don't keep messing with you, right? So as you do the inner work around your fears, around your beliefs, and as you start setting these boundaries, you'll come more into your power and you'll be less affected by these energy vampires, right? This is part of the process. And the third thing that I can share with you today is, where are you not trusting in yourself and are trusting in what others tell you instead? And this a lot has to do with those of you who are maybe being manipulated by these energy vampires, who are then taking advantage of you in certain ways, who are, just having you like overwork yourself or just give more to them or whatever it may be. Like, where are you not trusting in yourself and trusting in what other people are telling you instead? Where if someone's telling you, yeah, I'm only going to need your help for like 2 hours and that's it, but internally you feel like, no, this is actually going to take more time and I just don't have the energy for that. But you're not trusting in that inner guidance because you're too busy people pleasing. You're too busy, allowing yourself to maybe be manipulated by someone's sweet talk into getting you to do things or whatever that you don't really want to do. So where are you allowing yourself to like not really trust in that inner guidance or to be manipulated by other people? And how can you begin undoing that? How can you begin trusting in your inner wisdom and just saying no? Or just not falling for people's like lies or sweet talk or whatever. So as you do these 3 things, you will be able to get these boundaries back in place for yourself so that people can't take advantage of you anymore. Because what happens is I've given this example in the past when it comes to manifestation, and I really hope that this lands when it comes to energy vampires. I don't know a whole lot about Star Wars, but just imagine a spaceship that has like a protective shield over it, right? And it's like this thin holographic shield that goes over the ship, right? The spaceship. So when you are a disempowered empath or an unawakened empath, for example, or light worker, which means, you let people manipulate you, you are in fear, and you don't have boundaries, then that shield around the spaceship is weak. It's like transparent, it's like clicking on and off, it's sketchy, right? But when you're empowered inside of yourself, when you know how to have those boundaries, know how to say no, speak up for yourself, you are not living in fear, you don't let people take advantage of you and manipulate you because you know what the truth is and you trust in yourself and you have all of these things firmly in place inside of yourself. It's like you have that protective force field around you, right? Just like that spaceship, and nobody can mess with you. And even if something happens to like hit you, like an energy vampire shows up or whatever, like how to swap them off really fast and get your energy back or whatever it may be, you know how to deal with it quickly because you are empowered inside of yourself. And so that is the journey we want to take. We want to start getting empowered internally inside of ourselves. And we do this action by action. It's a process. It doesn't just happen overnight for most of us, right? We have to go through the journey of exploring our fears, exploring our limiting beliefs, and undoing those things, telling ourselves new stories, working through the emotions that keep us in fear. We have to go through the journey of setting boundaries and speaking up for ourselves and releasing the guilt around setting boundaries or whatever may be around setting boundaries, and learning to be firm in that and know that we're worthy and deserving of healthy boundaries. We have to go through the journey of like trusting in our intuition and being able to discern, a truth from a lie, because sometimes there are people that we love and trust, but they don't always have our best interests in mind. Or it could be someone that seems to be nice on the outside, that seems to be okay on the outside, but then your intuition is telling you otherwise. And so you have to be willing to trust in your intuition and to do what your intuition feels right. And the more that you can do that, the stronger you become inside of yourself, right? So as you go through this whole journey and process, this is how you become empowered as a light worker or as an empath or as just a person. And these energy vampires can't get to you. They can't penetrate your little force field or your shield anymore because you're so strong inside of yourself, right? So it's a journey for sure, but it's a journey worth taking because you are so much better for it. And you're able to really see for yourself that you never have to be afraid of people ever, because you can handle yourself, right? So that's basically it. This is part of the journey of getting rid of energy vampires once and for all. And like I said, it's a process, it's a journey, but if you just take steps, one step at a time, you'll be empowered before you know it. And energy vampires won't be able to mess with you anymore. And you're going to be like, wow, happy and excited that you did this for yourself, because you did the inner work and also the outer work with saying no and setting boundaries, etc. But you did the work to no longer be a match for these people anymore. And now your life is so much more peaceful and you're attracting better people in your life, people who actually want to give good things to you, to your life, good energy, good experiences, etc. And yeah, like literally when you do this process of taking yourself through this journey of clearing your fears, limiting beliefs, no longer letting yourself be manipulated, no longer like doubting your intuition or letting people overstep your boundaries, etc. As you go through this journey, you're going to just be able to create such a powerful energy about you. You're going to have such a powerful vibration that is not a match for these energy vampires. Like your energy is literally going to repel them in the same way that like we wear mosquito repellent or something so that we don't get bit by mosquitoes, right? It's just like if a mosquito lands, it like goes away really fast or it just doesn't even get near you, right? And that's kind of what needs to happen here is you need to go on the journey of internally shifting so that your vibration is so powerful and strong that these people just aren't a match because you're just on different wavelengths, right? But you have to go on the journey and you have to be willing to go through this process. So that is what I have to say here on that today. So if you want support with being able to step into your power and get rid of these energy vampires once and for all, and to really empower yourself internally, then I invite you to come and join me in my new Earth Empath program. It's an 8-week program in which we're going to dive deep into the inner work to explore your beliefs, your traumas, your fears, your things that have been keeping you disempowered as an empath or as a light worker. And to help undo that so that you can have that confidence that you need to go out in the world and not be intimidated by energy vampires or situations or people or whatever's happening in the world, etc. And you can maintain high energy levels as an empath and feel confident in your ability to live your life, with total ease and no overwhelm or no burdens or stuff like that, the things that empaths normally struggle with. Like those empath struggles quickly disappear when you come into your power as an empath. So if you want to go on that journey, you're invited to go check out my New Earth Empath program by visiting the link in my profile and signing up there or messaging me for more information. Tirza said, I used to have really big problems with energy vampires and boundaries, have come a long way since then. Thanks for helping me along the path. You're so welcome, Tirza. I'm glad I've been able to help you, and I appreciate you letting me be a part of your journey and supporting you along the way. So I think that's basically it for today. Thank you so much for your time.